And we are back with another AQ3D video. This is a continuation of my Nulgath farming guide, and this is method 3. I was told about another method in regards to Nulgath farming and it being the best method of farming. In this video, I am going to check it out, see if it actually is. Now, before I get to that, I do want to mention another method that somebody had suggested. Now, this isn't something that I personally would recommend, but I thought, well, I can mention it at least. So there is a pet called the King Makai Masher pet, and this does have some farming quests that you can use to obtain certain things. The pet only costs 750 dragon crystals, which is very affordable, and it does have some farming quests that you can do, one of which is this one right here, giving you some Essence of Nulgath, Tainted, and you just need to take out Makai. So, I mean, it is an option people could do, especially if you're running in Solus or something. I think these work for Solus. And then you've got another one, Lucky Deal, which does give you the contract. This is the same Lucky Deal that is the other pet there. I think it's Crag that has that. So you do have an option for having these two. It's pretty cheap, very affordable. So you could use this as another way of farming, or at least assisting with the farm. The main reason why I got this pet was so that I could get this thing right here, because I think that back bling is pretty darn cool. But let's get on to the real reason why I'm making this video, which is to show you the third method in Nulgath farming. Now, before I get to that, I was farming Mandible earlier this morning, and I had a blast. There was a group of people there. We were all working together to take down Mandible, turning in quests left and right. It was a lot of fun, and is definitely my recommended way of farming Nulgath stuff if you want something more relaxed and enjoyable. Now, the method we're going to be showing in this video is the Chamber of Suffering. According to people online, let me just showcase this for a second. We've got somebody here who mentions the Chamber of Suffering is the best farm with all the servants, makes the job easy, and always are people there. Another person here mentioned the most efficient farming method would be to grab a party, and instead of heading to the Crypts of Misery to fight Mandible, head to the Crypt of Suffering and start going to town on all the mobs. So I mentioned that I would be doing a video on that, or I would mention it in a future video, and that's what this is going to be about. So we're going to head over to the monastery. This is a new method for me. I have not farmed this method at all. I don't even know where the Chamber of Suffering is. I gotta find which one it is. Is this the... Nope, that's the path to the... whatchamacallit, because this is how new I am at farming these things. Chamber of Suffering, there we go. Apparently also the Runes of Souls work as well. But according to these people, there's always people farming in these. I'm on the red server, so we're going to see if there's anybody actually farming this method. I will also point out, I was talking with a mobile player earlier today who said that when he's farming, he doesn't prefer this method because it's just so much running around, and it makes it very difficult when you're running around killing everything. It's not something easy to do, plus you got to stop to turn in the mobs and everything, to turn in the quests and stuff. It is not as enjoyable. But when you're with a group of people, this is an opportunity, you know, this is another chance to farm this way. It might be, we're going to find out. All right, I have been farming in this location now for the last 20 minutes, and I can safely say this is definitely the fastest quest turn-ins I have gotten. Like, here's another example. It's insane the amount of quest turn-ins that you get in this location. It is definitely very generous when it comes to quest turn-ins. But this in itself does pose an issue, because you're going to find yourself having to swap your pets. Oh, it wasn't even that one. So consistently. I mean, it's a frequent thing to have to swap your pets. I don't even know what quest it was. Lucky Deal. Okay, Infernal. So that's what I got to grab out. And you have to check your quest logs to know, because sometimes the quests turn in so fast you don't really see them pop up, or you're not sure which one it is that you need to swap out to. The Crag quests do not turn in as often here as they do in the other one, so I am getting them, but just not as often. Oh, I'm maxed out on that, which means I need my SKU. You're still able to use your whole thing here, so you can still get diamonds doing the deal, but you will find that you don't get as many dark crystal shards. You'll find that those are less than you would normally get. However, you do have the tainted deal, so you're going to find you will have plenty of tainted gems, so you will be able to use and get the dark crystal shards. So if you're having a problem farming in this location and having a lack of dark crystal shards, because this location does not give a lot of dark crystal shards, the mandible does, this one doesn't, but you can use your tainted deal with the SKU pet or with SKU in the Solus, and then you can turn this in. Look at, there's 2 examples right there, 2 quests that just completed. I have no idea what those are for. After a while of doing this, you get used to them. Look at how many I have. Another issue I faced was having too many Essence of Nulgath, but you have a quest from Crag. So if you run into this issue of having too many essences, then you can just use the Crag pet or go to the Wasteland, interact with Crag, and then do the Tainted Gem Essence of Nulgath thing. You can convert them and get more Tainted Gem if you're wanting them, because they only stack to 500, which is kind of unfortunate. And then you can then convert that using the... where is it here? Using, oh no, it's in the SKU pet, or go to SKU in the Solus area, and then you can use the Tainted Deal to convert to your dark crystal shards. So let me go over the pets you're going to be using when farming in this location. So first and foremost, you will be using all 4 of the hired servants. So make sure that you have the Oblivion, Makai, Dreadfiend, and Infernal. These 4 pets, you will be turning in consistent quests from them. There are other quests as well you'll be turning in. This one here, the Void Fiend Companion, you obtain this for having the primal thing. If you don't have the primal orb, you won't get this guy, but if you do have the primal orb and you did obtain the fiend thing, you will be turning this quest in consistently. This is one you get very, very often. And then continuing down, we have the Nulgath larvae. I didn't have that many that were being turned in from him, but on the occasion I did have Nulgath's gift being turned in, but it wasn't very common, not anywhere near as common as the other pets that were turning in. You've got the Hanzo Void. If you have him, he did have some quests turning in. I don't now remember which one it was. It was in here somewhere, but was it this one? Yes, it was this one, Gem of Nulgath. And it's not very common, but it was on occasion. I did get that one. Crag is the next pet you're going to be using. You're going to be finding you get a lot of, well, not a lot, but you will definitely get the Contract of Nulgath via the Lucky Deal. This is one thing you'll be getting. And then the Catacombs Crawler, you will be getting this one and turning this in fairly frequently. And the last but not least, the Fiend one, because the Fiend Warrior is spawns around there. Not to mention you've got Ramsey and Ribcage and those around as well. So you would be taking, if somebody in your party is taking those down, but the Fiend Warrior just spawns randomly. You'll be taking him down periodically, turning this quest in. Those are the quests that you'll be getting with the pets there. As I mentioned, with the Essence of Nulgath, you're going to be stacking that very frequently, getting a max stack of that, which is going to happen very, very commonly. So as I already did mention, you will be using this quest right here to make sure to convert those, and then using those on the Tainted Deal with the SKU pet, or SKU in the other one there. You'd be then using that. You need to have a Contract of Nulgath, but you shouldn't have a problem obtaining any Contract of Nulgath, so you'd just be using that and turning those in, and then likewise using that. Once you've got the full stack, you'd then be able to get your diamond of Nulgath. Now, I was talking with Loki Monster, who is another YouTuber, also a Raven Squad member of mine, and she mentioned that you would also, if you have the Nulgath pet, you'd be using the Nulgath pet as well, and the Nulgath pet will be giving you diamonds and whatnot. So that's another pet you will be using. I don't have the Nulgath pet yet, so it's not something I've experienced, but based on her. So there you go. That gives us, that basically covers the thing. I got to tell you, this place is really good when it comes to farming. Definitely the fastest way of farming Nulgath material. Not my preferred method. I still prefer Mandible because it's just more relaxing and a little bit easier. You don't have to run around nearly as much. So I still prefer Mandible, but this is, it is definitely, if you're looking for the fastest way to farm, then yeah, Chamber of Suffering is the place to go. If you guys have other methods that you use to farm Nulgath stuff, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching and keep those swords swinging.